Guido Verbeck. I'm the professor of chemistry and biochemistry in the College of Science at the University of North Texas. I've been working on fieldable instrumentation and analytical chemistry for the past 25 years. I got my PhD from Texas A&M as a Procter & Gamble fellow, which I started instrumentation specifically in mass spectrometry. And then I moved to Oak Ridge National Labs, where I did my postdoctoral fellow on nuclear nonproliferation, also building fieldable and portable devices. Since my appointment at the University of North Texas, I've been here for 15 years. I brought over $4.5 million, 80 peer-reviewed publications, 10 awarded patents, 6 of them have been executed, 8 more applications, and I've graduated more than 20 graduate students in my program. Early in my career, I was awarded the Young Investigator Award at the Air Force Office of Scientific Research, where a lot of this technology has developed from. And since then, I've been working on instrumentation for cancer biomarkers, for fieldable instrumentation, nanoparticles, combing applications, the drug sniffing car, and remote smell, or ROS in this case, which is the one we'll talk about today. There's been a large advancement in virtual reality and augmented reality technology. This helps specifically in a program that's done for Department of Defense and the warfighter training persons for actual combat missions and actual live scenarios. But one of the big things that's missing in this is the sense of smell, which is a very powerful sense for us. It's not something that currently that we've been able to figure out. But ROS, this remote olfactory sensor, essentially adds that sense of smell. So part of the problem would be is that in a warfighter scenario, you would want all of your senses to be active, especially for munitions, burning flesh, those types of things that really alert the warfighter to what's really going on in the present situation. There's 2 other areas also that we've discovered in this that is a problem. In long space flight, which is a future that we're going to do soon, there's also a loss of olfactory responses from humans that are in space for long periods of time. And so remote smell can keep that stimulated. And then the third problem is neurological issues, depression, those types of problems can be aided and helped with remote smell. A lot of times these heighten the pituitary gland responses and help people that have forms of depression in that way also. The solution to this problem is in creating remote smell essentially goes back to what we call permeation tubes. In the permeation tubes, it's a Teflon-based tube that's impregnated with a chemistry. And then as you heat it, you can release this chemistry over a period of time. And people use this a lot of times in analytical chemistry for calibration of instrumentation. So we had come up with an idea of how to release chemistry in a mobile device using photodiodes. So the idea came by combining these 2 technologies. If we combine the permeation tube on the small scale with a photodiode, which can be computer controlled, then essentially you can have an array of smells impregnated into Teflon, for instance. And then as a smell is needed to be released, a photodiode is then fired, or fired multiple times, or fired for different pulse widths. All of that can be controlled by the computer to generate the olfactory response. This is how the problem was solved. It's just taken, especially the photodiode world, technology to advance to a point where we can do localized heating at very, very low energy, and allowing us to be able to develop a device like this. So what does the market currently offer? I mean, we've seen a lot of things: scratch and sniff, smell-o-vision, where you have these, infusion devices. They're very large, they're very bulky, they don't work very well. There's no real control mechanism. And so the market really doesn't offer anything in this realm. I mean, if it did, we would see it already in the gaming industry, or we would see it in the entertainment industry, but we really don't. We only see fuming processes right now. And that's a problem also, because a person's response to certain smells is very different also. And so being able to computer control this output for each individual is super important, and there's just nothing on the market. So right now, in the research development part of it, we've made this device up to about a technical readiness level of 3, which essentially means we took an idea and we've built a single-end large-scale prototype. How do we test that in the response? We actually connect it to a mass spec. And so as we're firing the photodiodes for the different smells, the mass spec can sense each of the chemicals that are coming in and tell us how much and how often. So that's where our technology sits right now. So we've had a proof of concept prototype that we built in the lab that mounts to a mass spectrometer. What we would like to do is move that to an actual multiplex device that we can put in clinical trials or in animal trials for specific testing on these smells. So moving this from a TRL3 to a TRL5 and having an actual device in hand. So we need to design and construct this ROS, and it's going to have to be able to mimic multiple smells. We're going to integrate these remote smells into this VIR setting and then optimize the smell release. Now, one of the nice things about this is there's not a lot of clinical control under this because FDA does not have control over normal natural aromatics, which we'll use at the beginning. So we don't have to seek FDA approval for a device like this that will emit chemistry. And so we're looking for someone to take us from the TRL3 to the TRL5 stage.